Hello everybody, this is Mazea. This is my YouTube channel slash blog, and what I'm going to be discussing is the questions that I get a lot about paganism, Wicca, and witchcraft, and how do you begin such a practice? Is this something that is passed down through your lineage? Is this something that is taught from grandmother to mother to child? How do I practice this? How do I even begin? When I started practicing Wicca, I sort of fell into it. I had always known that I was very, very attracted to, very drawn to the occult. I didn't fully understand it was nothing to be afraid of, it was nothing to fear. And so my own personal story is a little bit different. And, you know, going back into childhood, I can remember being fascinated by much of the pagan texture, the pagan history that is really interwoven in our culture that many people are just unaware of, but I could really, really feel it and sense it. So a lot of the questions that I do get are, how do you begin to practice witchcraft? How do I begin this practice? Is it evil? Is it bad? And I'm here to tell you there are more misconceptions about this religion than I personally have ever found. Maybe some of you out there have found religions that are more controversial. I've yet to find it. So I've been practicing Wicca and witchcraft for about, I would say, 3 to 4 years now. And I sure wish someone would have shown me some of the right books, the right authors to answer a lot of these questions. There's no way I could do a video teaching a person how to do witchcraft in, 2 minutes. There's just no way. There's a lot that goes into this practice. It is a very personalized, very private faith that does not believe, number one, no proselytization. And what that means is you don't go around, finger wagging at people, trying to get people to convert. That's definitely number one. Wicca is an earth-based, goddess-oriented religion. That's really the best way I've ever put it. And it's not a spirituality that requires you to go out and gain followers. I really believe that you are called to practice paganism, practice witchcraft, practice Wicca, and they are all very different. A Wiccan can practice Wicca but not practice witchcraft. A witch can practice witchcraft but not consider herself a Wiccan. And pagan is kind of like an umbrella. It's a huge umbrella term with many, many subsets and subdivisions of faith and spirituality, as offshoots of that earth-centered polytheistic spirituality or faith. So I just wanted to quickly go over a few books and authors that really helped me along my journey. And so any of you out there who are considering looking into this for yourselves, and that's really all you can do, where do you start? So I would say the absolute best, most incredible, if you can't afford anything else, if you can only get the one thing, I would really, really start with Scott Cunningham, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. And this is an older book. This is a revision, I'm pretty sure, and it does include his Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows is the private workings, the private notes and things that worked for Mr. Cunningham. He's a fantastic author. He walks you through really how to get started. What do Wiccans believe? What is the theory behind magical practice? How do you empower yourself? What do you do? So he's going to touch on a lot of that. The other thing that I like to I actually had a high priestess point me in this direction, and some people say this book is a little, not cheesy, but I really like Dorothy Morrison. She's great. The Craft, A Witch's Book of Shadows. And this book has really helped me learn how to integrate song, dance, poetry, things like that. A lot of creativity, really, really infuses creativity in her writings. But the nice thing about Ms. Morrison is that she's been doing this a long time. She knows her stuff and definitely will put you on the right path. The other thing that I like to tell people, and this is one of my favorite books, and this is actually a little bit older, and this is the Sabbath's Almanac. They typically come out with these every year. And I tell people, know your Sabbath. Sabbaths are the 8 sacred days of the pagan calendar. And these days are celebrated at different turning points of the year. And this book will go through, these books, the Llewellyn's publication of Sabbath's Almanacs, they publish them every year. And they will go through the seasons, crafts, rituals, ceremonies, things that you can do to really, really spice up your holidays as a witch. And then lastly, one of my all-time favorite books. Take it back, 2 all-time favorite books. It's always interesting to get a man's perspective on witchcraft. It's a little different, you know, but I really love, and this man is very respected, and this is Buckland's complete book of witchcraft. He goes through the history. And you know, if you're going to practice Wicca, know your history. Know where you're coming from. Know that legacy or that lineage that's behind you. Mr. Buckland is a very, very well-informed expert on the craft, obviously. He's published, I don't know how many books on the subject. He's been doing this for decades, teaching for decades, writing for decades on the occult. And he really, he gives you foundation. He gives you a place to stand. If somebody asks you about your spirituality, you're going to know the answers. You're going to know where are these origins? How old? How old is witchcraft really? How far back does polytheism go? And you really want to know your history. And then the last book, I would say, and I've heard this talked about, one of the other fantastic bloggers is Tiptoe Chick, and I don't know if she's still doing videos. I have not checked, but she made a really great point where she said, you know, if you just want to get right to the heart of the matter and really, really cut through a lot of the crap that's out there, I would go with Silver Ravenwolf. That is her priestess name, but she wrote Solitary Witch, and it teaches you how to be an eclectic, self-practicing practitioner, for lack of a better term, practitioner of the craft. It will give you every possible definition you'll need. She goes through all kinds of spell work. She talks about, I mean, she breaks it into sections, and you will learn so much. Everything, astral projection, rituals. This book is my absolute favorite. She'll take you through all of the Sabbats, the Witch's Creed. She incorporates poetry. She incorporates her own book of shadows and spells that have worked for her. So these are some of the books that I think are very helpful to get you started. And yeah, if you can only afford a couple, I would stick with Scott Cunningham, Wicca, a guide for the solitary practitioner, and probably Silver Ravenwolf. I think she's a great place to start. So that is it for now, and I'm signing off. I'll be posting more videos on paganism, Wicca, and witchcraft.